That's a lot of bad news. You get poisoned spinach, we got trans fats and everything, which New York is going to legislate against now. We got high fructose corn syrup in most of the food we eat, which we know isn't too good for us. We got Twinkies that'll probably survive in landfills well into the 25th century. Some really bad food out there. So are there any local solutions that can give people back their choice? And that's a very key word, choice. People have to be able to choose what they want to eat. Now, I mentioned before that we don't have a real food culture in this country. Europeans have a food culture. I mean, they have a food culture. French want French wine. They want French-grown beef. Italians want Italian wine. They want good, thick red sauce made from Italian tomatoes. I don't think we really have that here. We used to because we're a nation of immigrants. But you get thrown into that melding pot and you lose some of it. I guess maybe we do. The only food culture we have is fast food culture. You know, hot, fast, and greasy. That's what must sell, because you can't, swing a dead cat without hitting the fast food joint in this country. But the choice thing, I thought it was pretty well summed up by Janet Bainbridge, who is chair of the advisory committee on novel food in the European Union, but this opinion is probably even stronger in the United States government. Someone asked her if she thought people should have a choice as to labeling their food for GM or non-GM content. And she said, well, sometimes my son wants to cross the road when it's dangerous. And sometimes you just have to tell people what's best for them. You got to tell them what's best for them. And the message is GM food is best for you. But now some people don't agree with that, and I'm one of them. But there was also a group in California that didn't agree with it. And they passed Measure H, Mendocino County, GM-free. No cultivation or planting of GM crops. That was quite a big milestone. And there's counties and governments all across the United States that have tried to duplicate that. 3 more counties in California have done the same. This is back in 2004. But the corporations didn't like that. So they started getting state legislatures to pass preemption bills, the Monsanto laws as they're commonly known. And since November of 2004, just about 6-7 months after this Measure H for GM-free Mendocino was passed, there were 19 of these Monsanto laws introduced across the United States. And I think, if I counted right the other night, about 14 of them have been passed, very quietly, no public input. Some are still tied up in the state legislature because activists fight to keep those laws that they pass locally on the books. Some state legislators and some environmental groups in California, Natural Resources Defense Council, probably Sierra Club and a few others, wrote a statement on the California preemption bill, which is SB 1056. And they said, SB 1056, an anti-democratic attack on the rights of local citizens and local governments. The measure is driven by narrow private interests that seek to protect their economic stake by convincing legislators to strip away the rights of their own constituents. Why would people want to do this? Why would state legislatures want to take away the rights of local people to decide local things? Now, I've always believed that local governments should have the right to pass laws for things they needed, whether it's for new roads, school referendums, whatever. But I also think they have a right to pass laws against things they don't want. If that's GM foods, or factory farms, or air pollution, or water pollution, local government should have that right. But there is hope, I think, in the face of these Monsanto laws, because when things like this get brought into the public light, people start to notice. And people that normally might not have paid attention, might not have known, suddenly see that things are going on out there, and they become interested, which is the last thing that corporations want. They like dealing in the back rooms, the old smoke-filled rooms with the big fat guys smoking cigars. That was their game. That was where they worked best. But when things come out into the public light, it makes it a little more difficult for them.